Wealth does not begin in your bank account. It begins in your energy. Long before money shows up in physical form, it responds to something invisible yet powerful: your inner state, your beliefs, your emotional frequency, and the way you see yourself in relation to abundance. Rich energy is not about how much money you currently have. It is about how you think, how you feel, and how you expect life to respond to you. Most people grow up believing that wealth is something external, something difficult, something reserved for a lucky few or those who struggle endlessly. From a young age, many are taught that money requires sacrifice, pain, stress, and constant effort. These ideas quietly settle into the subconscious and begin shaping reality. Over time, they become habits of thought, and habits of thought become habits of life. Rich energy is the opposite of this conditioning. Rich energy is calm, it is grounded, it does not chase or beg, it does not panic or compare. It understands deeply and quietly that wealth is a natural response to alignment. When you carry rich energy, money feels safe around you. Opportunities recognize you, resources flow toward you because you are energetically prepared to receive them. Think about the people you associate with wealth. Truly wealthy individuals rarely move in desperation. They don't rush. They don't explain themselves constantly. They don't feel the need to prove. There is a steadiness in their presence, a sense of expectation rather than hope. That expectation is rich energy. Rich energy is not arrogance. It is not ego, it is self-trust. It is knowing that you are capable, deserving, and supported by life itself. When you embody this state, wealth stops feeling like something far away and starts feeling like something inevitable. Scarcity energy, on the other hand, is loud. It is anxious. It worries about loss before gain. It focuses on what is missing instead of what is available. Scarcity energy repels wealth not because the person is bad or unworthy, but because their nervous system is signaling danger, lack, and fear. Money does not flow easily into an environment that feels unsafe. Your energy is always communicating. Even when you are silent, your beliefs are speaking. Even when you are still, your expectations are moving. Wealth listens to this communication more than it listens to words. Many people repeat affirmations but feel no change because their inner state contradicts their statements. Saying, "I am wealthy," while feeling desperate creates resistance. Rich energy is not forced. It is practiced. It is cultivated gently, consistently, and honestly. Understanding rich energy begins with awareness. Awareness of how you currently relate to money. Do you feel tension when you think about finances? Do you feel guilt when you receive? Do you feel fear when you spend? These emotions are not failures. They are signals. They show you where your energy is misaligned. Wealth responds to clarity. When your relationship with money is confusing, emotional, or reactive, wealth hesitates. When your relationship becomes calm, respectful, and confident, wealth accelerates. One of the most powerful shifts you can make is moving from "I need money" to "I expect money." Need is survival. Expectation is alignment. Need comes from lack. Expectation comes from identity. When you expect wealth, you behave differently. You make better decisions. You value your time. You speak differently. You invest in yourself. These behaviors reinforce rich energy without effort. Rich energy also understands patience. It does not rush timelines. It does not demand instant proof. It trusts the process because it knows the destination is secure. This trust alone removes enormous resistance. Money is not attracted to effort alone. Millions of people work hard and remain financially stuck. Money is attracted to direction, self-belief, emotional stability, and openness. Hard work without alignment leads to exhaustion. Alignment with inspired action leads to expansion. Your nervous system plays a crucial role here. If your body associates money with stress, conflict, or fear, it will unconsciously push it away. This is why some people lose money as quickly as they gain it. Their energy is not yet comfortable holding wealth. Rich energy feels safe with abundance. It knows how to receive without panic and how to hold without fear. Another misunderstanding is believing that rich energy means ignoring reality. It does not. It means responding to reality from empowerment instead of helplessness. You can acknowledge where you are without identifying with it. You can see a small bank balance without letting it define your future. Identity is everything. When you see yourself as someone who struggles financially, life will reflect that. When you begin to see yourself as someone who naturally attracts resources, life adjusts. This does not happen overnight, but it happens inevitably when the identity shift is real. Rich energy is built through repetition of aligned thoughts and emotions. Every time you choose calm over panic, trust over fear, gratitude over resentment, you strengthen this energy. Over time, it becomes your default state. Notice how abundance shows up first in non-financial ways. Peace of mind, supportive people, unexpected solutions. These are signs that your energy is shifting. Money often arrives last, not first, because it is the densest form of abundance. When wealth starts to come, rich energy remains balanced. It does not become reckless or overly attached. It understands circulation. Money is allowed to come and go without emotional extremes. This emotional neutrality is powerful. It tells life that you are stable, mature, and ready for more. Comparison is one of the fastest ways to drain rich energy. The moment you measure your journey against someone else's, you disconnect from your own alignment. Wealth is not competitive, it is expansive. Someone else's success does not limit yours. In fact, it proves what is possible. Rich energy focuses inward. It asks, who am I becoming? Instead of, what do I lack? Becoming precedes receiving. Always. You are not here to chase money. You are here to become the version of yourself that money naturally follows. That version is calmer, clearer, more decisive, more self-respecting, and more open. As you listen to this audiobook, allow yourself to release urgency. Urgency is a signal of distrust. Replace it with certainty. Certainty is quiet. Certainty does not argue. Certainty knows. Rich energy is not something you earn. It is something you remember. It has always been available to you. The moment you stop resisting it, it begins to express itself through your life. From this point forward, your only task is alignment, not force, not struggle. Alignment. When your inner world changes, your outer world has no choice but to follow. Take a slow breath now. Let your body relax. Let your shoulders drop. Feel the difference between tension and trust. This feeling, this calm expectation, this is rich energy, and this is where wealth begins. Your subconscious mind is the silent architect of your financial reality. Long before you make a decision, take an action, or speak a word, your subconscious has already chosen the direction. It does not respond to logic. It responds to repetition, emotion, and identity. This is why understanding it is essential if wealth is to come to you automatically. Most people believe they are consciously in control of their money life. In truth, the subconscious runs the show. It controls what feels safe, what feels possible, and what feels familiar. If wealth feels unfamiliar or unsafe, the subconscious will quietly block it through procrastination, fear, self-sabotage, or missed opportunities. Your subconscious learned about money early. Through parents, environment, culture, and emotional experiences, it formed conclusions, not facts, conclusions. If money was associated with stress, arguments, or loss, your subconscious linked wealth with danger. If money was scarce, it learned to expect scarcity. These lessons were absorbed before you had the ability to question them. Now here is the key truth: the subconscious does not care whether a belief is true. It only cares whether it is familiar, and what is familiar feels safe. This is why simply wanting wealth is not enough. Desire without reprogramming creates frustration. The conscious mind wants more, while the subconscious tries to keep things the same. This inner conflict drains energy and delays results. Reprogramming begins when you stop fighting your subconscious and start educating it. You do this through gentle repetition, emotional safety, and consistency. One of the biggest mistakes people make is trying to force belief. They repeat affirmations aggressively, hoping to overpower doubt, but force creates resistance. The subconscious opens through calm, not pressure. Think of your subconscious like a child. It learns best through repetition, reassurance, and emotional tone. When you speak to yourself calmly and confidently, your subconscious listens. When you shout affirmations with desperation, it feels unsafe. Wealth becomes possible when your inner dialogue changes from struggle to expectation. Instead of saying, "I hope money comes," you begin saying, "Money is learning how to find me." This subtle shift removes pressure and builds trust. Visualization is powerful because the subconscious does not distinguish between imagination and reality. When you repeatedly imagine yourself calm, secure, and abundant, your subconscious begins to accept this as normal. Normal is powerful. Normal becomes automatic. The goal is not to imagine luxury for excitement, but stability for safety. Peace with money is more attractive to the subconscious than excitement. When wealth feels peaceful, it stays. Another important part of reprogramming is releasing inherited beliefs. Many money fears are not yours. They were passed down through generations. Fear of loss, fear of success, fear of being judged. You are allowed to release beliefs that no longer serve your future. You do not need to blame anyone. Awareness alone is enough. When you notice a limiting belief, simply acknowledge it and replace it gently. For example, if a thought arises saying money is hard to earn, you respond internally with calm certainty. Money responds to alignment and value. This is not lying to yourself. It is choosing a new perspective. Your subconscious learns through emotional repetition. The feeling you attach to a thought matters more than the words themselves. That is why calm affirmations work better than intense ones. Calm signals safety. Safety allows change. Consistency is more important than intensity. 5 minutes daily will reprogram more effectively than one emotional session followed by neglect. The subconscious respects rhythm. As you repeat new beliefs, you may feel discomfort. This is normal. Discomfort does not mean the affirmation is false. It means the identity is shifting. The subconscious resists unfamiliar upgrades at first. Do not argue with the discomfort. Let it pass. Continue calmly. Over time, resistance fades and the new belief feels natural. Your self-image must evolve alongside your money beliefs. If you see yourself as someone who struggles, wealth feels contradictory. If you see yourself as capable, resourceful, and supported, wealth feels logical. Begin identifying as someone who manages money well even before large amounts arrive. Identity precedes evidence, always. Notice how you speak about money casually. Jokes, complaints, and offhand remarks all program the subconscious. Speak respectfully about money even when you have little. Respect invites flow. Reprogramming also involves allowing yourself to receive. Many people are comfortable giving but uncomfortable receiving. This imbalance blocks abundance. Wealth is circulation. You must be open on both ends. When money comes, even in small amounts, acknowledge it. Gratitude reinforces reception. Ignoring or minimizing it teaches the subconscious that money is insignificant. Your subconscious responds strongly to nighttime programming. The moments before sleep are powerful because the conscious mind relaxes. Listening to affirmations or visualizing abundance before sleep accelerates reprogramming. Morning is equally important. How you start your day sets your emotional baseline. A calm, expectant mindset in the morning creates alignment throughout the day. You are not trying to control every thought. That would be exhausting. You are simply redirecting gently when you notice fear. Awareness alone weakens old patterns. Another crucial aspect is forgiveness, especially self-forgiveness. Past financial mistakes often create shame. Shame anchors scarcity. Forgive yourself fully. You did the best you could with the awareness you had. The subconscious cannot build wealth while carrying guilt. Release it. As reprogramming progresses, you may notice changes in behavior. You may feel less urgency, more clarity, and better boundaries. These are signs of alignment. Trust them. Your intuition sharpens when the subconscious is aligned. Opportunities feel clearer. Decisions feel lighter. You stop forcing outcomes and start allowing guidance. Remember, the subconscious works through identity. When you repeatedly affirm that you are someone, wealth flows to naturally. It begins shaping your reality to match. You do not need to know how money will come. That is not your job. Your job is alignment. The subconscious handles the rest. Be patient with yourself. Deep programming takes time, but it is permanent when done gently. You are not fixing yourself. You are upgrading your operating system. As this section ends, allow one simple truth to settle deeply. Your mind is learning a new normal. Wealth is no longer distant or difficult. It is becoming familiar. And what becomes familiar becomes automatic. Wealth is not created by thought alone. The mind lays the foundation, but action builds the structure. Rich energy is invisible, but it manifests through your behavior. What you do, how you respond, and how you carry yourself every day becomes the physical expression of your inner frequency. Alignment of action with abundance is the bridge between desire and reality. Without this alignment, even the clearest vision, the strongest affirmation, and the deepest belief may remain dormant. Most people misunderstand the role of action. They believe that working harder, doing more, or taking frantic steps is what will generate wealth. But action without alignment is wasted energy. It creates movement, not progress. True abundance requires inspired action, action that flows naturally from clarity, confidence, and trust. When your actions are aligned, they feel effortless even when they are disciplined. They feel like a natural extension of who you are becoming, not like an obligation or struggle. Observe your current behaviors. Do they reflect scarcity, fear, or indecision, or do they reflect abundance, confidence, and calm expectation? Every choice you make, from how you spend your time to how you manage your money, sends a signal to life. It signals whether you are prepared to receive wealth or not. This is why habits are so important. Small, consistent behaviors compound over time to create a lifestyle that attracts abundance naturally. These behaviors are not complicated. They are simple, but they are consistent, deliberate, and aligned. Alignment begins with clarity. Knowing what you want and why you want it creates focus. The subconscious understands intention more than words. It recognizes direction, not desperation. When you act from desperation, chasing, worrying, overworking, the subconscious perceives danger. When you act from clarity, purposeful, calm, confident, the subconscious perceives readiness. Wealth responds to readiness, not effort. Effort without readiness often meets resistance. Readiness combined with calm, focused action removes resistance and opens pathways you cannot yet see. Another critical principle is detachment from outcome. Many people act with excessive attachment to results. They measure every action against immediate gain, and when the expected outcome does not appear, they panic or stop. This attachment signals scarcity. Abundant action, however, is inspired by faith, not fear. You act because it is aligned with your purpose, because it feels natural, and because the process itself is rewarding. You detach from outcome, trusting that the universe responds to your energy, and that timing is part of a larger, intelligent flow. Daily habits form the backbone of aligned action. This includes how you manage money, how you invest time, how you communicate with others, and how you respond to opportunities. Wealthy energy is reflected in punctuality, organization, discipline, and reliability. These behaviors communicate to the subconscious and to life itself you are capable, trustworthy, and ready. Alignment is a living signal, continuously reinforced by how you behave. It is not about grand gestures or occasional effort. It is about steady, reliable expression of abundant energy through your actions. Pay attention to your choices. Do they reflect fear or trust? Fear-based actions are often reactive, urgent, or panicked. They are fueled by scarcity and never feel comfortable. Trust-based actions, on the other hand, feel aligned, calm, and precise. They are not frantic or desperate. They are responsive, intuitive, and measured. The difference may seem subtle, but it is enormous. One creates struggle, the other creates flow. Wealth cannot thrive in struggle. It flourishes in flow. Opportunity is drawn to aligned action. When your thoughts, beliefs, and behaviors are synchronized, doors open effortlessly. You meet the right people at the right time. You recognize solutions before others do. Serendipity becomes the natural byproduct of alignment. The universe does not need to work harder for you. When you are in alignment, your energy is a magnet, and life arranges itself around your readiness. Decision-making is another key element. Abundant energy makes decisions from clarity, not panic. It understands that indecision creates stagnation, while hasty, anxious decisions create resistance. Confidence does not mean knowing everything in advance. Confidence means trusting yourself to navigate the unknown. It means taking action aligned with your principles, knowing that guidance and resources will appear as needed. The act of deciding calmly and decisively signals readiness and attracts opportunity. Aligned action is also about prioritization. Not all tasks have equal energetic value. Some actions move you closer to wealth, others distract or deplete energy. Learning to identify high-value actions is critical. These are the actions that cultivate skill, expand influence, generate income, or strengthen your mindset. Repetitive, low-value activity is not aligned action. It may feel productive, but it does not build abundant energy. Discernment is part of alignment. Knowing what deserves your time and energy creates leverage in life. Leverage creates rapid growth. Rapid growth signals readiness to the universe. Consistency amplifies aligned action. Sporadic bursts of effort create noise, not signal. Daily repeated behaviors build momentum. Momentum compounds in unseen ways. Small choices repeated over time create habits. Habits shape identity. Identity shapes destiny. The person who consistently acts from aligned energy becomes naturally wealthy because their behavior is continuously signaling abundance. Emotional management is intertwined with action. Stress, worry, and frustration distort alignment. Even the most inspired action loses power if it is delivered from fear or agitation. Rich energy is calm, steady, and emotionally coherent. Calmness does not mean passivity. It means stability. Stability allows action to flow without resistance, allowing momentum to accumulate and opportunities to be recognized. Emotional alignment is a silent but powerful aspect of action. Money responds first to calmness, then to behavior. Aligned action also embraces learning and growth. Wealthy energy understands that mastery of skill, relationships, and strategy is part of preparation. This preparation is not laborious. It is intentional and enjoyable. Learning becomes a form of alignment because it strengthens confidence, competence, and self-respect. A person aligned with abundance seeks improvement naturally. The universe supports learners. Wealth gravitates toward those who value growth. Opportunities will present themselves differently than expected. Aligned action requires flexibility. Rigidity creates resistance. When your actions are aligned with your energy, you can pivot gracefully without losing momentum. You trust intuition and timing. You respond intelligently. The combination of clarity, trust, consistency, and flexibility creates a powerful energetic field that attracts both conventional and unexpected resources. Another aspect of aligned action is generosity. Wealthy energy understands circulation. Giving is not optional. Giving in its many forms, time, skill, resources, and attention, signals abundance. The subconscious perceives generosity as a state of sufficiency. Scarcity energy resists giving, fearing loss. Generous action, balanced with self-respect, signals the universe that you can handle more. Abundance flows to those who can circulate it freely. Aligned action also includes reflection. At the end of each day, week and month, review your behavior. Notice where you acted from alignment and where you drifted into fear, scarcity, or urgency. Reflection is not judgment, it is awareness. Awareness is feedback. Feedback refines future action. By consistently reviewing and adjusting, you keep your behaviors synchronized with your rich energy identity. This continuous refinement ensures that wealth is not just possible, but inevitable. Trusting guidance is essential. Opportunities often appear subtly, requiring action that may feel unfamiliar. The aligned individual responds, guided by intuition and calm discernment. Hesitation or disbelief delays the flow. Faith in your preparation and your energy allows action to match opportunity. This matching creates effortless results. When action is out of alignment, even obvious opportunities can be missed. Alignment is therefore both preparation and perception. Time management is another key to alignment. Wealth responds to efficiency, discipline, and priority. Chaotic schedules create stress energy, which repels abundance. Calm, intentional scheduling allows both action and rest to coexist, reinforcing the balance of energy that wealth seeks. Balance does not mean laziness. It means strategic, deliberate, and joyful engagement with life's tasks. Aligned action includes consistency in self-care. Your body, mind, and energy are instruments of wealth. Neglect creates misalignment. When you sleep, eat, exercise, and rest appropriately, your energy remains coherent, focused, and abundant. Energy coherence signals readiness. Exhaustion signals scarcity. Caring for your energy is a form of wealth action. It ensures that all other actions are supported by a strong foundation. Finally, aligned action is about integrity. Acting in ways that honor your values, commitments, and words strengthens your energy field. Integrity is magnetic. Wealth gravitates toward those who can be trusted and who operate with respect for themselves and others. Small acts of integrity, consistently applied, reinforce abundance energy far more than flashy, desperate efforts. Every action, large or small, is an opportunity to signal your alignment. Even mundane tasks carry the frequency of your energy. Washing dishes, replying to emails, attending meetings, performed from abundance, calm, and presence. These actions become extensions of your wealthy identity. The universe notices the energy behind action, not the action alone. As this section closes, remember alignment is a living practice. It is continuous, consistent, and conscious. Every day, every decision, every habit is an opportunity to demonstrate readiness. Wealth is not chasing you, it is following the signals your actions emit. By aligning behavior with your inner rich energy state, you ensure that money, opportunities, and resources come effortlessly, naturally, and repeatedly. From this point forward, let every choice, every action, every interaction be a reflection of abundant energy. Move calmly, act decisively, and trust the intelligent flow of life. Your actions are not just steps, they are the magnetic force that draws wealth into your reality. And when action and rich energy are perfectly aligned, wealth is no longer a pursuit, it becomes an inevitable expression of who you have become. Wealth is not just about seeking or doing, it is equally about allowing. To allow wealth to flow automatically, you must cultivate a state of readiness that is receptive rather than forceful. Most people act as if money is something they must chase, negotiate, or manipulate. This approach creates tension, struggle, and resistance. Rich energy understands a different rhythm. To flow is to attract, to receive, and to circulate without fear. Allowing wealth is not passive, it is conscious, deliberate, and deeply aligned with your identity. It is the art of creating space for abundance to arrive naturally. The first step in this process is removing resistance. Resistance often manifests as doubt, fear, guilt, or unworthiness. You may feel you are not deserving of wealth, that money is hard to come by, or that abundance is reserved for others. These beliefs are invisible barriers that block the flow of opportunity. They act like a dam, slowing the natural current of prosperity. To allow wealth, you must dismantle these barriers quietly and patiently. Awareness alone begins this process. Simply noticing thoughts of unworthiness or fear weakens their control. Repeated observation without judgment signals to the subconscious that a new, safer pattern is possible. Next, you must cultivate trust. Trust is the silent magnet of abundance. When you trust the flow of life, you stop resisting the natural timing of wealth. You stop over-managing, over-planning, and overreacting. Trust does not mean inaction or ignorance. It means knowing that every experience, every opportunity, and every resource is arriving in alignment with your readiness. Trust transforms urgency into patience and desperation into expectation. The universe mirrors the energy you emit. Anxiety signals lack, calm trust signals abundance. Wealth flows toward the latter effortlessly. Gratitude is another powerful principle in allowing wealth. When you focus on what you already have, you create fertile ground for more to arrive. Gratitude shifts your energy from scarcity to sufficiency. It is not a superficial exercise, it is a deep emotional acknowledgement that life has always supported you, even before your conscious awareness. By feeling gratitude for small gains, supportive people, or personal resources, you prime your subconscious for larger gains. Gratitude communicates to life, I recognize value, I am ready for more. Resistance diminishes and flow accelerates. Receiving is a skill that must be consciously developed. Many people are skilled at giving but struggle to receive. This imbalance blocks abundance. Receiving gracefully does not mean indulgence or dependency. It means acknowledging that life has value to offer you and that you are capable of handling it. Resistance often manifests subtly hesitation to accept opportunities, downplaying achievements, or deflecting praise. Each subtle refusal creates friction in the flow of wealth. By practicing openness and acceptance, you align your inner state with abundance. The universe is not just generous, it is intelligent. It responds to those prepared to accept its offerings. Letting go of attachment to how wealth should arrive is another crucial step. Life rarely delivers in the ways we predict or imagine. Rigid expectations create disappointment and block flow. When you focus on the energy of abundance rather than the form of abundance, opportunities appear in surprising ways. Money may come as a gift, an investment, a job, or even as an unexpected resource. Allowing wealth means recognizing these forms as expressions of the same universal energy. The rigid mind says, it must come this way, while abundant energy says, I am ready for what life provides. This flexibility is magnetic. Self-worth and deservingness are central to allowing wealth. If you believe that money is something earned only through suffering or struggle, you unconsciously limit flow. Rich energy operates from the understanding that abundance is your natural state. You are inherently worthy of resources, opportunities, and success. Affirming this identity is not arrogance, it is alignment. Whenever guilt, fear, or unworthiness arises, it is simply a reminder to return to your true self. You are not seeking approval from life, you are claiming your birthright as a conscious, abundant being. Emotional detachment from scarcity is also essential. When money arrives, rich energy does not cling, panic, or hoard. It circulates. Wealth moves in patterns of flow, just like energy itself. Trying to control, micromanage, or obsess over every resource creates friction. Allowing wealth requires emotional fluidity, receiving, appreciating, and releasing with ease. This circulation signals to the universe that abundance is safe in your hands, and therefore more abundance is drawn toward you. Visualization and mental rehearsal amplify your ability to allow wealth. Imagine wealth flowing to you effortlessly, like water into a clear riverbed. Visualize opportunities appearing naturally and resources arriving without struggle. These mental exercises do more than inspire, they communicate with the subconscious. Your subconscious cannot distinguish between lived experience and vivid, emotional visualization. Repetition of these visions strengthens your identity as a person who naturally receives, reinforcing the flow of wealth at a deep unconscious level. It is essential to remember that wealth is not linear. Flow is not constant. Sometimes money comes abundantly, other times it is slower. Rich energy does not resist cycles, it adjusts. Seasonal or cyclical fluctuations are part of the natural rhythm of life. Those aligned with abundance experience fluctuations without panic because they know the flow is ongoing. Temporary pauses are not denial, they are preparation for greater expansion. Understanding this rhythm prevents fear from blocking momentum. Allowing wealth also requires letting go of comparison. Measuring your abundance against others creates resistance and scarcity energy. Someone else's success does not reduce your potential, it expands it. Abundance is unlimited. By focusing on your unique journey and energy, you allow wealth to manifest without friction. Comparison signals fear, acceptance signals readiness. Choose acceptance. Allow your path to unfold naturally. Generosity amplifies flow. Giving is not just an act of kindness, it is an energetic principle that communicates abundance. Every time you contribute value without expectation, you reinforce the truth that wealth is circulatory. Giving shows that you are not attached, that you can handle abundance responsibly, and that resources can move through you without friction. Life responds to this readiness with more opportunities, more income, and more freedom. Generosity is a magnet. Internal dialogue plays a subtle but crucial role. Monitor the thoughts that arise about money. Avoid mental narratives of lack, limitation, or struggle. Speak to yourself as someone who naturally attracts abundance. These conversations may seem small, but repetition embeds them in your subconscious. Consistency transforms belief into identity. Identity then transforms reality. Rich energy is cultivated quietly through thousands of small affirmations and shifts in perception. Environmental alignment is also important. Surround yourself with symbols, people, and experiences that reinforce abundant energy. This does not mean superficial displays of wealth. It means environments that remind you of sufficiency, possibility, and growth. The mind absorbs cues from surroundings. Aligning your environment with wealth, consciousness reduces subconscious resistance and makes allowance for prosperity effortless. Patience is an understated but vital principle. Automatic flow does not require frantic urgency. Patience allows your subconscious, your network, and the universe to align resources properly. Impatience signals lack. Calm patience signals readiness. You cannot rush the universe, but you can synchronize with its intelligence. Timing is invisible but precise. Trusting timing amplifies reception and strengthens rich energy. Reflection strengthens the process of allowing wealth. Regularly review how you respond to income, opportunity, and generosity. Notice where resistance arises and where flow is effortless. Reflection is not judgment, it is awareness. Awareness informs adjustment, which reinforces alignment. As you practice reflection, subtle shifts in energy become more noticeable, and allowing wealth becomes second nature. Health and vitality also influence your ability to allow abundance. Your energy body is the vessel through which resources flow. When you feel lethargic, anxious, or misaligned, the subconscious signals that abundance is unsafe. By prioritizing rest, nourishment, movement, and mental clarity, you maintain coherence. Coherence signals readiness, energy moves freely, wealth flows naturally. Aligned expectation completes the process. Expectation is the quiet certainty that abundance is already on its way. It is not hope, not desperation, not wishful thinking. Expectation is calm confidence. It does not demand, it trusts. This state is magnetic because it communicates the subconscious truth: you are prepared, you are capable, and you are deserving. Life responds in kind. As this section closes, remember that allowing wealth is not passive. It is the conscious cultivation of readiness, trust, gratitude, detachment, and circulation. Every thought, emotion, action, and reflection contributes to the flow. Wealth is not something you chase. It is something that finds you when your inner state is aligned with abundance. By removing resistance, practicing gratitude, receiving gracefully, detaching from form, honoring your worth, managing emotion, visualizing, embracing cycles, avoiding comparison, being generous, maintaining awareness, aligning your environment, exercising patience, nurturing your body, and holding quiet expectation, you create a magnetic field for prosperity. And when wealth flows to you automatically, it becomes effortless. It becomes natural. It becomes inevitable. You are no longer struggling. You are no longer chasing. You are simply the vessel through which abundance moves freely. This is the art and science of allowing wealth to flow. The journey of wealth does not end with belief, alignment, or allowing. It culminates in identity. Living as a magnet for wealth means embodying rich energy so thoroughly that abundance is not something you seek. It is simply an expression of who you are. At this stage, money, opportunities, and resources flow naturally, effortlessly, and repeatedly because your inner state is fully synchronized with abundance. Your energy does not need to chase, struggle, or negotiate. It simply radiates a frequency that life responds to. Becoming a wealth magnet is about integrating everything you have learned into your daily existence until it becomes instinctive, automatic, and unshakable. Living as a magnet begins with your self-concept. The person you see in the mirror each morning must align with the person who naturally attracts wealth. This is not about vanity or superficiality. It is about identity. Ask yourself, who am I becoming in relation to abundance? What habits, emotions, and behaviors reflect the wealthy energy I wish to embody? Identity precedes reality. Every action, thought, and emotion is an extension of this identity. If your inner self believes you are abundant, your outer world cannot help but reflect it. Conversely, if your self-image is scarce, no amount of effort, visualization, or action will create lasting wealth. Identity is the foundation. Everything else is built upon it. Your thoughts, speech, and decisions must consistently reinforce this identity. Notice your language about money. Replace, "I hope I can afford this," with, "I am aligned with resources to meet my needs." Replace, "I don't deserve this," with, "I am fully capable of receiving and managing wealth responsibly." Your words are powerful transmitters of energy. When your internal dialogue reflects abundance, your subconscious accepts it as truth. Over time, this becomes automatic. Rich energy does not need to remind itself of what it already knows. It lives it. Habits are equally crucial. Wealthy energy expresses itself through consistency in action. The wealthy do not operate through randomness or frantic effort. They move with rhythm, discipline, and intelligence. Daily practices that support abundance, managing time wisely, investing resources strategically, honoring commitments, cultivating skill, and maintaining emotional balance strengthen the magnetic field of wealth. These habits are invisible to the casual observer, but resonate deeply with the universe. Every repeated, aligned behavior compounds your identity as a magnet for abundance. Emotional mastery is the hallmark of living as a wealth magnet. Emotions are energy in motion. When fear, anxiety, or scarcity dominates, your energy becomes chaotic. When calm, confident, and trusting, your energy becomes magnetic. Wealth is drawn to coherence, not chaos. Practicing emotional regulation is not about suppression. It is about mastery. A magnet does not struggle to attract metal. It simply radiates the force that pulls the particles naturally. So too with abundance, the more coherent and stable your energy, the more it draws resources effortlessly. Generosity amplifies your magnetism. Giving is not a strategy, it is a natural expression of abundant energy. Whether it is time, knowledge, support, or material resources, generous energy signals to the universe that abundance is safe in your hands. Giving circulates wealth, reinforcing the flow that allows more to arrive. Importantly, generosity is balanced with self-respect. Giving from scarcity weakens energy, giving from alignment strengthens it. Life responds to this equilibrium with more opportunities, resources, and connections. Intuition is another critical component. Once you live as a magnet, your subconscious and conscious awareness operate in harmony. You sense opportunities before they fully materialize. You recognize solutions and pathways that others overlook. Your decisions become faster, more confident, and more accurate because they are informed by a deep, aligned knowing. Intuition is a product of your accumulated energy, habits, beliefs, and experiences. Trusting this guidance amplifies your ability to attract wealth naturally. Networking and relationships play a subtle yet powerful role. Wealth flows through connection. Aligned individuals naturally attract supportive, high-energy people who contribute to growth. These relationships are not forced or transactional, they are a reflection of your frequency. By maintaining rich energy, you magnetize individuals and situations that resonate with your identity. Opportunities often arrive indirectly through these networks, demonstrating that wealth is as much about alignment with people and ideas as it is about money itself. Mindset remains paramount. Even as wealth begins to flow, you must maintain the principles that created it. Abundance is not permanent unless it is supported by continuous alignment. Complacency, arrogance, or attachment to outcome can disrupt the flow. Living as a magnet means vigilance, not in the sense of fear or worry, but in conscious awareness of your energy, beliefs, and actions. You check that every thought, word, and choice reinforces your identity, ensuring that wealth continues to respond to your energy. Adaptability enhances your magnetism. Life is dynamic, and wealth is fluid. Opportunities change forms, markets shift, and circumstances evolve. By remaining flexible while anchored in your abundance identity, you navigate changes gracefully. You pivot when necessary, learn quickly, and adjust your strategies without losing coherence. Flexibility is a form of intelligence that strengthens the magnetic field of wealth because it signals readiness for every possibility. Visualization, affirmation, and meditation remain powerful tools even at this stage. They reinforce identity and alignment. Rich energy is maintained not by luck, but by consistent internal practice. Daily moments of reflection, gratitude, and visualization keep your subconscious calibrated, ensuring that your energy remains a beacon for abundance. Meditation allows the nervous system to reset, keeping emotional energy coherent. Visualization communicates intent, while gratitude amplifies receptivity. Combined, they create a stable, magnetic field for wealth to flow. Circulation of wealth is essential. Money, opportunities, and resources must move freely. Hoarding, fear, or guilt about wealth creates stagnation. The magnet does not cling, it attracts, uses wisely, and releases. Circulation signals competence and readiness. When you handle abundance with ease, the universe responds with more. Your capacity to manage, grow, and share resources determines the scale of abundance you attract. Living as a magnet also requires continuous learning and growth. Abundant energy is expansive, curious, and adaptive. You invest in yourself, cultivate skills, and expand understanding. This is not about knowledge accumulation for prestige. It is about preparing yourself to handle increasing levels of wealth and influence. Growth aligns with opportunity. As you expand internally, external opportunities grow in proportion. A stationary mind attracts limited resources. A growing mind attracts infinite potential. The physical body is part of this magnetism. Your energy field is strengthened by health, vitality, and presence. When your body, mind, and spirit are coherent, energy flows freely, creating resonance with abundance. Neglect or imbalance disrupts flow. Self-care is therefore not indulgence, it is an act of energetic alignment. Your vessel must be capable of receiving and radiating wealth, and that begins with consistent attention to your physical, emotional, and mental well-being. Integration of all previous lessons completes the magnet identity: mindset, subconscious programming, alignment of action, allowance, circulation, emotional coherence, generosity, intuition, adaptability, and personal growth all converge to create a stable, powerful, and magnetic field of wealth. By living in full alignment with these principles, you no longer need to chase, manipulate, or negotiate for money. Wealth flows naturally because your identity, energy, and behavior are coherent with abundance. At this stage, every aspect of life becomes an extension of rich energy. Decisions are easier, opportunities are recognized faster, and resources arrive effortlessly. You navigate life with calm confidence, knowing that abundance is not temporary or external, it is an inherent part of your being. You radiate wealth, not through display, but through coherence, alignment, and mastery of self. Life responds accordingly, providing not only financial abundance, but freedom, choice, and fulfillment. Ultimately, living as a magnet for wealth is about becoming the person who naturally attracts what they need without struggle. It is about embodying an energy that is calm, confident, generous, adaptive, and expansive. The universe does not force abundance upon anyone, it responds to those whose inner state is already in resonance. By consistently practicing identity, alignment, circulation, generosity, growth, and coherence, you ensure that wealth is not only present, but permanent. It becomes effortless, automatic, and inevitable. Take a moment to feel the energy of abundance within you. Notice the calm confidence, the openness, and the natural expectation that resources, opportunities, and prosperity are already flowing. You are not striving, you are not seeking, you are being, and in being you radiate the magnetic force that draws wealth, freedom, and abundance to you naturally. This is the essence of living as a magnet for wealth. This is the final stage of embodying rich energy. Your identity, energy, and actions are aligned. Wealth flows naturally, automatically, and infinitely. You are ready. You are abundant. You are magnetic.